Jim Gazzolo, Heath Schroyer, win #1 on the year.
That was a big one, buddy.
Needed?
Oof, much needed for a lot of ways.
No,
A lot of reasons.
As an athletic director, you're not supposed to root as much. But for you, this had to feel like a big win.
It was a big win for our department. It was a big win, obviously, for the football program, for our community. We needed it, for sure. I mean, we felt like we let one get away at home in opening weekend. Obviously, you go down and play the Tigers. So then you go on the road again, and you play a good team on the road, and knowing that you got another really good team to open up league on the road again. So, it was one that we had to get, and I'm glad we got it.
31-24 victory over Southern, a game that you're down 21-10 at halftime.
Oh, I know.
And the quarterback is in question of coming back.
Right.
A lowest point that possible, I would imagine, then to the highest points of the best 30 minutes of football we've seen since 2019.
For sure. I think it was a turning point. I'm sure we're going to talk about it later on in the show. But it was definitely a turning point. Because you're sitting there, like you said, okay, well, our quarterback could be out. We're down 21-10. We've just lost 2 games in a row, so we have to do something to get this momentum, flipped around. And it could have been the moment that truly turned around the season.
It could be. It could be a season saver. The interesting thing is the rallying point. The fact that the kids rallied around Cody, but rallied around each other. They've been through so much adversity. Adversity's not going to get to them.
Right.
But really a rallying point and a rallying cry.
For sure. I mean, they love Cody. The whole team. You could just see everyone's like, oh my goodness. They went after our guy, and he's a great kid. He's a great leader, and just a phenomenal person. And I'm excited to have him on the show here momentarily. But you're going to get a sense of the type of person he is, and he's genuine. He's authentic, and he's a great leader.
He's been here for 6 years.
For 6 years, no doubt about it.
So we've seen him grow into this.
For sure.
No, the interesting thing, to me, there's always lots of little things that happen in this, but this is a game that if it was an undisciplined football team, we would have had problems on that game. But they kept their composure.
They did.
They got emotional at the moment. There was some pushing and shoving, which there should have been.
For sure.
But nothing over the top, no punches thrown on either side.
Right.
So they kept their composure, and they understood the moment. So it's got to be that's got to be a good feeling that that program is on stable ground. No doubt. And I think it was, and I was on the field for the end of the first half and then in the whole second half. And you could just see, as a coach, I mean, I've been on benches for 26 years, you could see the body language change, the momentum change, the coach's energy. It was a great moment. It was a great win. And, we could have folded. Yeah.
And you made a great point that, no one cares, right? I mean, no one cares about the Hurricanes anymore. No one cares about, we've been through this and we don't have lights. No one cares. At the end of the day, you go out there, you toss it up, and it's about winning games.
They got their own problems.
No question about it.
It's always like what you say when you go to the office. Your home may be falling apart, but they got their own problems. They don't care.
It's true. I mean, it really is true.
For you, a guy who's trying to sell a program, trying to get momentum going, trying to keep it going, 0-3, it's the worst possible start you could have for a fall, isn't it?
It'd be hard to see. It'd be hard to think of something worse, for sure. But it was just, and I was so happy for Coach Wilson and his staff because I know how hard they've worked. I know how committed they are to this program and these kids, and it was a great win. And now, hopefully, we have the momentum going to play in a really, really good Incarnate Word team.
An interesting game, to say the least. Very interesting after last year.
For sure. And they're going to play it now. We're playing at 11 a.m. It's a big game, and it's opening of league play. But the Southern game for sure was a big one.
It's an opening of a league play that is an interesting league, to say the least. With the 2 games.
Yeah.
A league that has got, talking about the league, Alcorn State from the SWAC, which couldn't play this week because of trainer problems, beat a Southland team. You don't want to see that happening. You don't want to see your league going down and losing those types of games.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, it's, but I'll tell you this, though. Our league is really good outings.
Incarnate Word last week against North Texas.
For sure. I mean, Southeastern's good. I mean, our league is Nichols has played really well. They should have beat UL. So the top half of our league is
no,
really,
it's a top-heavy league that's good.
No doubt about it.
It's going to be interesting to see how it's got more talent than people think in that league.
Oh, for sure. But you take them one day at a time, one game at a time, but a big one next week.
And when we come back, Cody Orgeron, the quarterback of McNeese State, will join us right after this on Polk Nation.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. It is an honor to have Cody Orgeron.
Yes,
welcome
sir.
to Polk Nation,
Thanks
my
for
man.
having me. Appreciate it.
For sure,
yes,
for
sir.
sure. So we got the quarterback. Here we go. All right.
Sir.
So we're up and running. Tell us about the team. Tell us where we're at. Obviously, we had a huge win last week, but most importantly, I know Polk Nation wants to know, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. The team's feeling great. Their morale right now is really high. Big win on the road against a good Southern team going into conference this week. A lot of momentum, so ready to take advantage of it.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
So what was the locker room like?
That was fun. After a win like that, missed that winning feeling. A little party in the locker room after,
sure.
So it was good.
I just want to make sure, because a lot of people have asked me, you did go through the concussion protocol, right?
I did.
And you were cleared by a doctor.
Yes, sir.
Because there were some people that were concerned that it happened too quick. But when you got knocked out, what was your first thought?
I didn't really get knocked out, but, going to the ground right there just took a moment. Just instant migraine, a little dizziness, but, my first thought was that, I got to get back in the game. It's a crucial game right now, critical situation. Make sure my head's all right and get back out there.
It seemed that the team, there was some pushing, some shoving after that, and they came to your defense, but really, they rallied at halftime.
Yep.
Did you guys feel like that's enough? It almost like we've been victims long enough.
Yeah, it kind of woke me up a little bit. Coach Wilson did a good job of us getting us hyped up in the locker room at halftime, saying, drew the line, this is not it. We got to come out in the second half firing, and, the team rallied around me and Coach Wilson, and we had a great second half.
Well, the neat thing is I was on the field, and so I saw it. And as soon as it happened, the whole bench, the guys that were sitting down, the defense that was sitting down, the whole bench went right over there to make sure you were okay.
Yes, sir.
And the neat thing is I was standing next to Dr. Roos, and I said, we're going to come back and win this game. Because it was, and I've been in athletics my whole life as a player, coach, and now an AD. When you see that, I honestly, and we're so thankful that you're okay, but I think it can be the 100% turning point to bring this group together. It was that game, but I think the momentum, like Cody talked about, can really, keep us going into obviously a really good Incarnate Word team.
Yeah, no doubt. That was like I said, a wake-up call, and it was good to see. The whole team's got my back, rallying behind me like that. It was kind of like that Joe Burrow hit against UCF in the bowl game. Just a wake-up call, and like, all right, you guys want to play like this? Let's go. So it was good.
There was and I wrote it today that it seemed like at times this team in the early part was almost too nice. I almost said it didn't really have that chip on its shoulder. It was looking, a lot of it was a talk of the victims, the hurricanes, and all that. That it really needed to find out, hey, this is football.
Right.
Nobody's going to take it easy on us. You guys almost needed that moment, didn't you?
Yeah, no doubt. They're not feeling bad for us. No matter everything we've been through, everything we've gone through as a team, it definitely brought us closer. But, when you face adversity, the whole team rallies together, and that just goes to show, the culture that we have at McNeese, in the locker room, the staff, it's really a family situation. So, when one brother gets hit, everybody gets hit. So, it's good to see that.
I want to ask you this, though, because this week, Incarnate Word, they really did a number on you guys in the spring. And there was a little spice at the end when they scored the late touchdown. Is there a little bit of a let's get back at them attitude, too?
It's more of just, it's another game, but we also know it's a big game. It's very important because it's the next game, leading into the conference. This is a must-win for us. On the road in San Antonio against a great Incarnate Word team, it's tough. But, I think we can go in there and do it.
So talk about this, because as an athlete and a coach, talk about from the time you got on campus to now, the maturation process, where you were when you got here to where you are now. I mean, anyone who's watching this sees the maturation. You're a pro, talk about how all of that got from freshman year to now?
Yeah, you know, coming here to Lake Charles, I just started playing football my senior year of high school, so, you know, playing football was new to me. I walked on here at McNeese as a 6th-string quarterback. Really got recruited from my twin brother, Parker. He was a great football player. Started as a true freshman. Career got cut short because of some concussions. So, but, you know, I really came in here as, you know, a teenager and now a young man. You know, I couldn't be thankful for McNeese and everything they've taught me. The weight room was a big thing for me coming here, and the film room as well, you know, just growing into the game, becoming the young man that I am. Came in here probably 158, 160 pounds. So, you know, it came a long way. I'm now 195. I feel good, feel healthy out there, and, you know, I feel like I can take those type of hits. So, you know, I've come a long way, but still got a long way to go, but I'm proud of myself.
What did your parents think about it because of your brother's situation and that to hear you got hit like that?
Yeah, you know, the first person I saw come down those stands was my mom. My mom's she used to be a nurse, so, you know, she can handle situations like that, but I'm sure she was a little worried about me because of Parker and all those concussions, you know, taking hard hits like that on the football field, you know, head hitting the back of the turf. You know, I sent the video to my dad after, and he was a little upset, but like you said, it's just, you know, it's a part of the game. It's a, you know, it's a very violent sport, so you're going to have to be able to take stuff like that.
When we come back with Cody, we're going to talk more about McNeese this year and about his journey right after this on Polk Nation. We're back with McNeese State quarterback Cody Orgeron. And Cody, you are on a tremendous run of 179 passes without an interception. But you've also thrown for 300 yards in 3 of 5 games, I think it is now. So it's not just dink and dunk. But are you a game manager? Are you a quarterback? Do you hate the term game manager?
No, you know, I don't. You know, that's a part of the quarterback job, you know, just, you know, managing the game out there, taking care of the ball, you know, taking what the defense gives you and, you know, just not playing outside of your game.
When it comes to this football team and you look at what it can do and what it can't do, did we see the best of it in the second half moving forward? Was that the best, and that's what the push is going to be now?
Yeah, you know, that's just a little glimpse. You know, we have a very high ceiling on this football team, a lot of talent, a lot of great coaches. You know, they do a great job in preparing us throughout the week. You know, it's just up to us to go out there and execute, but that's definitely a small little glimpse. Got to keep this momentum rolling into this part of the season.
So let's talk about this. Obviously, you got your degree here. You got a master's degree here,
sir,
which is awesome. Talking about the student athlete. But now, after football, and I used to say this to my kids all the time, is the ball's going to stop bouncing, right? The air's going to go out of the ball at some point.
Right.
What do you want to do? When you look back, and obviously you got a long time, you got the rest of your life ahead of you, but have you thought about what you want to do when football's done?
Yes, sir, I have. You know, I take that day by day. Obviously, I have a plan to go start my coaching career in Baton Rouge at LSU under my dad. I'm still praying about that, though. Whatever God has for me, you know, I'm here for it. You know, just taking a leap of faith after football. I've been playing football for so long now, my whole college career. So it's going to be a little different, you know, when the air gets out the ball, like you say. But, you know, just taking it day by day, praying about it, I know it'll come.
Well, the neat thing is, coaching is a phenomenal profession. No matter what anyone tells you, it's a great profession because you actually make a difference in people's lives.
Right.
And you never lose the competitiveness. Even now, you know, stepping away from coaching, I still have to find ways to keep it competitive. Right. You know, where, okay, now it's about ticket sales or it's about fundraising. Right. You know, you have to find those things to keep your motor running.
Yes,
and that's the neat thing about you in watching you in the last few years. The competitiveness in you will never go away.
Right. Yeah.
And it's so. But before football, you talked about only being in football your senior year. What'd you do before?
I used to be a tennis player. So my mom used to play tennis. My dad, Parker, and Tyler were kind of like the football heads of our family. I've always wanted to play football, but you know, I was a late bloomer. I was probably like 5'5", 150 pounds my sophomore year of high school.
Right.
But I knew I could throw the ball well. I knew I was an athlete. But at the time, I used to go watch my mom play tennis tournaments and stuff, and you know, kind of just got like the tennis bug in me, and ended up winning 2 state championships in high school in tennis, and then, I got approached by my high school head football coach about me coming to play quarterback because, the word got out that I could throw the ball pretty well. And, at the time, Parker was playing quarterback, but he's a true wide receiver, so they needed someone to give him the ball. And, it was a great choice of mine, and, my life's never been the same since, so I'm grateful for football.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
You talk about, during the break, you mentioned about being in your father's shadow. And there's some thoughts about maybe you don't want to go to LSU right away because you don't want to be in that shadow. What have you learned through camps, through working camps, through being a part of camps that makes you a coach and some of the contacts you've made?
Yeah, the Manny camp, even working the football camps, the Cowboy football camp at McNeese, building those connections is really, critical for your career. It's about who you know, not what you know. I've always heard that. But going to Baton Rouge after would be a great thing, but also, I want to be known as Cody. I'm Cody. I'm not Coach O's son. I am Coach O's son, but, I'm Cody first, and I take pride in that. So, coming to McNeese was a big thing for me, too, because I was able to get out to Lake Charles. I'm not in Baton Rouge. I'm not in that shadow. It's pretty big out here, but it's not as big as Baton Rouge. But, I was just proud to make a name for myself out here, and I want to continue to do that.
With that in mind, this football team has a lot of high expectations. What would fall short? Because is it weird to play 2 teams? How do you judge that? Because you're not playing Incarnate Word, you're going to play 3 times in 7 months.
Sure.
How does expectations meet that because of that?
Yeah, it's a little different. It's kind of like an NFL season, playing 2 teams at once. But, we're just going to have to be phenomenal in our game planning, understanding, what teams are going to do against us, how they're going to change it up in the second time we play them. But, we just got to stay steady, play our game, and, reach those high expectations for the fans. Obviously, we have a lot of talent on our football team, a great staff. We just got to keep it going.
What did it mean for you to get that touchdown pass against LSU?
It was big, in my head. I was thinking, is my dad ever going to pull these dogs off me? That rush was getting back there quick, but, it was a great atmosphere, lifelong dream of mine. I wouldn't have it any other way. Dream come true, but, Pokes covered the spread and got a touchdown, so it was fun.
And you get the last word in because you get the last touchdown of the game.
Yes, sir.
So you talked about, real quick, Lake Charles and coming here. Because I know Poke Nation would want to know this. What did you fall in love with? Because you had options now. That's a neat, when you graduate, you could have grad transferred. Last year you had a COVID year.
Yeah, why did you stay?
Yeah, why stay, and what made you fall in love with Lake Charles?
I think the people here, the community, just how everybody treats each other. It's a real family environment out here. It's a slowed down life, small town. But, I feel a sense of loyalty to McNeese. They gave me a chance. I walked on here. I earned my way up. So I always had unfinished business here. One of my goals is to be one of the best quarterbacks that's ever came through McNeese. And, I'm well on my way. Still got some work to do, but, I'm proud of how far I've come, and I still got some work to do. But, the people here, the fans, the community, the little kids on game day, standing on the hill, that's what it makes it all worth it for me. It puts a smile on my face and, makes my heart happy to see those guys because, at one point, that was me as a little kid at my dad's football games, just looking at those college kids like, oh, my God, one day that's going to be me, and just, being in those shoes. So, really the people here, I love the people, the community, the support, and met some lifelong friends here.
I will tell you this, too. From this chair, I want to thank you for being the role model that you are, because those little kids on that hill do look up to you.
Yes, sir.
And they live to pat your shoulder pads or touch you when you walk down the tunnel. And the person you are on and off the field and how you carry yourself, you're a pro.
Yes, sir.
And I, as the athletic director, truly appreciate the example that you set for so many people.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Anytime.
We'll be right back with Coach after this. Well, I want to thank Cody Orgeron for showing up. Class act.
Ooh, gosh, isn't it great?
Not your average college kid. A lot of guts. Showed a lot of guts the other night.
He's so tough. But the neat thing is that, you mentioned it early, is that he's been here 6 years. In the days today, or of the times now with the transfer portal and people coming in and out, you have a kid that has stayed with your program for not 4 years, but because of everything, 6 years. You know, you've been able, and our fan base and Polk Nation has been able to watch this kid grow up, as he said, 150-pound scrawny kid to this. That's what makes it so unique. That's what makes college athletics so special, and you just want more kids like that, because when you bring a kid in as a freshman and you invest in them in the weight room and you redshirt them and you do all those things, you want to, you know, sit on a stage and see those kids walk out as men. With degrees and futures, and that's what you got. He's an absolute pro.
But he wanted to stay here. And,
no
and
doubt
the thing
about
it is, because we talked, him and I had a lot of conversations over the years, and he could have left for Baton Rouge this year, been a quarterback, had the headset on, gotten an NIL deal with his dad and made some money, and walked right into a coaching future. Instead, he wanted to play, he wanted to finish, he wanted to thank Lake Charles for supporting him when he was a nobody. And that, I think, is an amazing story at this point in time when people are leaving for every reason possible.
It's what makes it special, but I'm going to tell you, it's what's going to make him have a very, very special career wherever football takes him or wherever his life takes him, because of that sense of loyalty, because of the drive, the determination, his toughness. Think about it this way. You know, his brother, who was a heck of a player, has to leave the game because of multiple concussions. And here you are, you're down 21-10, you get knocked out, if you will, like you said, migraines and all that, and to have the toughness and the will.
The old bell rung, is what he used to say.
That's exactly right. But to come back and be in that locker room down 21-10, it'd been really easy for him to say, hey, my head hurts and I'm going to stay away. But he put it out there and led the team to a victory that we really needed.
No, he could have easily have said, I'm done.
It was
I'm out.
It was awesome.
I tap out and I'm going to go be a coach.
That's right.
No. So that is an amazing toughness that I think will bode well for this team in the next 8 weeks.
I do too, and we need that toughness coming on Saturday, because I'm telling you guys, and we talked about it off the air. Incarnate Word is really good.
They're unique. I think they're more unique than good, but
for sure. No, but I mean, they spread that thing out. They throw it all over the place. They're a very good football team, and but I believe that you know, this win, what happened with Cody, the second half, you know, that was as good of a half of football in all three phases that we've seen in a long time.
Oh, it's since maybe 2015.
Yeah,
that was the best half of football for 2015. Now, the interesting thing is the 150 minutes that preceded it for the year was kind of mix and match. We saw good, we saw bad, but those 30 minutes, utter dominance, especially by a defense that had given up some big plays.
For sure, but you know what? It's a long year, and I love this team. I love the grit and determination that we saw in the second half, and I truly believe, Jim, that this is going to help propel us and into having a really, really good year.
Well, there's a lot of pressure. Always pressure.
But what I always say, pressure is a what? It's a privilege.
Well, for you, it's a privilege. For the rest of it, it's just pressure. Well, it's Incarnate Word this week. Interesting week, and the Cam Ward did a great job against them the first time. We'll see what they do this time. Are you going to be in San Antonio, I would imagine?
Of course.
Well, we'll be back next week right here on Polk Nation.